Hello, and welcome to a really special storytelling celebration because it is National Storytelling Week. And everywhere, up and down the UK, people will be celebrating and telling stories. And that's what we're going to do right here and right now. I'm going to talk a little bit about why stories are important in this short film. But there are two more. One is me telling a story and asking a few questions to make you think about the sort of story you might like to tell. And there's another short film giving some top tips, if you will, on how to become a more confident storyteller. So, why are stories important? Stories are told around the world, and they have been told for thousands, perhaps millions of years. Why? Well, the first thing, of course, is that they're fun, right? We are excited, we are engaged when we hear a really great story. They're entertaining. They're entertaining, but they also teach us things. Perhaps one of the most important things they teach us is what it's like to be someone else. They teach us empathy. When we listen to or read a really good story, we can, for a moment, imagine what it's like to be someone else, to experience their excitement, their love, their sorrow, their fear, right? We get to walk in their shoes. So stories are fun. They teach us empathy. They also allow us to travel away from our normal lives. They allow us to travel into the past. Right? One of the oldest stories, or the oldest story that we know about, written down, is the story of Gilgamesh, a king who lived in what is modern-day Iraq. It's nearly, or about, 4,000 years old. If someone told you the story of Gilgamesh, you would be transported back in time 4,000 years, and you would walk in his shoes. So stories are fun. They teach us empathy. They allow us to travel back in time. They allow us also to travel around the world. If we read a story that is set, say, in Africa, for a moment, we have travelled to Africa. They've taken us on an amazing journey. So, stories are fun. They teach us empathy. They can take us back in time. They can take us around the world. But that's not all they do. You see, for a long, long time, stories used to be the way that people were taught important lessons. Stories might have taught people about how the world and the heavens, the sun, the moon, the stars, were made. The story of creation. They also teach us how to live a good life, right? They have instructions. We might call them morals. The lesson a story teaches us. One of the most famous storytellers ever, Aesop, a Greek storyteller from thousands of years ago. Every short story he wrote had a little moral to it. I'll give you an example. The story of The Boy Who Cried Wolf. You might know it already. If you don't, it roughly goes like this. There's a little shepherd boy whose job it is to look after the sheep, and he's bored, so he pretends a wolf is coming. Help, help, he shouts, a wolf is coming. It's not actually. All the villagers come running up. He's tricked them, and he thinks it's fun. He does it again the next day. But the day after that, a wolf does come. And he shouts, help, help, a wolf is coming. But guess what? The villagers don't come. And the wolf eats all the sheep, and in some stories, eats the boy as well. What's the lesson of the story? Don't tell tales, don't tell fibs, because when you tell the truth, people might not believe you. Now, putting it in a story makes it much more fun, much more engaging. You're more likely to listen and think about it. So stories, they're entertaining. They teach us empathy. They take us back in time. They take us around the world. They teach important lessons to us, perhaps about how the world came to be, or perhaps more simply, the sort of lives we should live. They do all of that and more, because stories are really important in how we understand ourselves. If I ask myself the question, who am I? Part of my answer, much of my answer, will be a story. The story of my life. The story of different moments, important moments in my life. And I can tell them, perhaps just to myself. I might never tell these stories, but I think them. Stories are fun. They teach empathy. They take us back in time. They take us around the world. They tell us maybe how the world was made. They teach us how to live a good life. And they help us understand who we are. Right, that's enough from me for now. Bye-bye.